welcome back to the next up close product video. Now this time round we're going to be having a look at a product that I've probably neglected over the past couple of years, sort of overlooked, and yeah, sort of not really bothered with myself when I probably should have. So this month we're going to be taking a look at the Wychwood Water's Edge 2G boots. Now back in 2015 Wychwood released the original Water's Edge boots, and yeah, as you can see, and as the name alludes to, 2G, these are the second generation of the Water's Edge boots. In typical sort of up close product video fashion, give you a very quick look at the sort of outer box, and then we'll get stuck into the actual boots themselves. So as you can see, the uniform sort of grey and yellow box detailing there. As it shows you on the front, they're not only just made for fishing, you can actually use them for just sort of walking, hiking, that sort of thing, and as it says, they are water resistant as well. On the side they do state obviously that they come in sizes from 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, so UK sizes 7 to 12, and on the other side detailed sort of features about the boots themselves. So let's get this box open and have a little bit closer look. So there we go then, the Wychwood 2G Water's Edge boots. Now as you can see straight away, really nice olive green, minimal logoing, and black sort of lower half finish. The new Wychwood logo on what is a nice thick padded tongue, and then yeah, a little sort of tag there with the sort of Wychwood written logo on it as well. So no other details on it at all, like I say, just keeping them sort of really sleek, really minimal, and yeah, quite stylish. And just sort of feeling in and around the boots, if you're wanting to sort of wear a nice pair of thick socks with them as well, then there's quite a bit of padding around the sort of top of the ankle there, which is great because that's going to give you sort of a lot of support as well. But just sort of feeling in the boot, you're getting sort of, I don't know, a few mil of padding in there. So you probably want to go up a shoe size if you're looking to wear like a thicker pair of socks, that sort of thing, just to be on the comfortable side. So so yeah, just feeling, like I say, in and around, there is yeah, a good few mil of padding, a nice thick tongue, and yeah, a nice thick sort of ankle sort of wrap there that will give you a lot of padding to support your ankles when you're trekking in and around your venue. Whilst I'm on the subject obviously of the inside of the boot, don't know if you can see that there, but nice sort of breathable material there that's obviously going to just help wick away some of that heat that obviously your feet is going to generate when you're up and down the bank. But that material pretty much runs through the whole inside of the boot, so like I say, that is going to help wick some of that moisture and that warmth away, keeping your feet nice and sort of warm but not getting sort of damp or cold, and doing the complete opposite of what you're trying to achieve. Moving on to the lacing of the boot. Now the lacing is actually custom sort of designed in the sense of where the actual lacing points have been sort of situated on the boots. Now that is done for sort of maximum sort of effective support of the actual ankle and your sort of foot inside. As I said, they're not only just used for fishing, they can be used for sort of walking and hiking as well. So as you could imagine, you know, a load of support in and around your ankle is just going to make things a lot more comfortable. So I don't know if you can see there, but the lower half ones of the sort of lacing points have got like metal sort of rings on them, which will really allow you to get those laces pulled down nice and tight. And as you can see, those laces aren't going to get shredded or anything like that because the actual rings are just sort of rounded off. So like I say, you can get those boots tied nice and tight around your ankles, and then the top half, you've got the sort of loop sort of clips on there, which will allow you to just hook the laces round and get them pulled in, drawn in nice and tight to your feet, and again just offering maximum support. So that is sort of mimicked on both sides. So you've got the 4 sort of looped lace points on the lower half, and then the 2 sort of hooked points on the top half. One last thing about the actual lacing is that you're actually getting enough lace to play with. So once you pull them down nice and tight, as you can see, you know, I've tied a couple of relatively quite big loops there, so you're not having to sort of scrimp on lacing to try and get them nice and tight. Once you've got them through sort of all the rings and the hooks, yeah, you haven't got a minimal amount of lace to play with. There's quite a bit there, and like I say, I have tied a couple of big loops in there just to show you that yeah, once pulled down nice and firmly against your feet, you aren't going to be trying to fight with cold fingers to get them laces tied. So with the muckier months ahead, it is vital that your sort of feet are kept sort of warm and away from the elements. So there's nothing worse than being out in session and having cold, damp, wet feet, because you know, I've been there, and yeah, I've been stupid enough not to sort of sort myself out with a decent pair of boots through those colder months. So this is where the sort of Water's Edge boots really do come into their own, because yeah, they are made of a water resistant membrane. So even though the Water's Edge boots may look sort of quite rugged and quite stiff, they aren't actually, to be quite honest with you. They are rather flexible on that sort of upper green half. So even though you're going to be pulling them down nice and tight to yeah, give yourself some support, they actually are relatively sort of flexible on that top half, just to make sure that you're getting sort of maximum comfort. Now if you look closely, all of the sort of separate sections of the boots there all have been double stitched. Now that means they are going to be built to last. They're not going to be falling apart after wearing them outside. They are double stitched throughout. Every single piece of, like I say, section of material there has double stitching running all the way through it, meaning that you're not going to have to replace these after a few months. Moving down to the sort of bottom end of the boot. Now you can see this sort of strip running around the lower half of the boot. And now this front bit is a hard sort of front, just give you a bit more protection from the elements, and just pretty much kind of extends the sole area as well. So although you've got this breathable sort of area, the green area, as I mentioned, with the material inside, this bit is just pretty much an extension of the sole, stopping sort of any sort of water or debris getting into yeah, the sole of the boot, and like I say, keeping your feet nice and dry in the process. Moving down to the actual sole of the boot as well, which is a very, very important part of the boot, to be quite honest with you. It is a moulded sole, so as you can see, there is no stitching along the bottom there, so nothing to you know, come apart, no stitching to fray or come away, you know, or leak any sort of moisture into yeah, into the boot itself. So that moulded sole again is just going to aid keeping everything dry that is inside the boot. And as you can see, the grip on the bottom of the boot as well, really hard wearing, nice and tough, and plenty of grip there to cater for pretty much anything that you're going to be walking over. Now the Water's Edge boots have a RRP of $49.99 across the size range, but I've had a little look sort of online, and yeah, you can sort of pick these up for a smidge over £40 depending on where you sort of shop about. So it's well worth having a little look on yeah, on the various different websites online, because yeah, you can probably get yourselves these a little bit cheaper as well and save yourself a few quid along the way. But that is the Water's Edge 2G boots. Any questions you may have, as always, feel free to stick them down below in the comments, and yeah, I will do my best to help you out. But that is this month's up close product video, and I will see you next time round.